What up and what it do? It's your boy Wall Street. And today, starting a little series that I'll be doing over the course of the next, call it 2 months, as teams in the NBA finish out their season. Obviously, we have 10 teams right now at the conclusion of the regular season that did not make the playoffs. Thus, their 24 to 25 season is completed. And I want to do a little, getting so excited, I'm, saying tongue twisters here. I want to do a little review of each team and just kind of talk about how the season went and what they have to look forward to, some big questions that they have, and things like that. It's just going to be, as I've said before, guys, this is a dialogue on basketball. So please chime in the comments down below, especially if I'm talking about your favorite team. Want to know what you guys think as fans. What do you think about your team and all that? But so I'm starting today with the worst team in the league by record, the Utah Jazz, who finished the season at 17-65, one game below the Washington Wizards, my dearly beloved Washington Wizards, which gives them a 14% chance to win the number one pick in the NBA draft lottery. Obviously, that's the biggest piece of the Utah Jazz season, right? I believe their pick was going to convey to OKC if they finished, I think, outside of the top 8 or the top 6. So this is obviously a smart move, whether it was intentional or not, to be the worst team in the league, because that means you certainly are not going to lose your pick. They can pick as high as number 1. They can pick as low as number 5. That is the range that they have going into the draft. So, yeah, the exact protections were Utah's first-round pick to OKC is protected for selections 1 through 10 in 2025 and 1 through 8 in 2026. And then if they have not conveyed by 2026, I think it's lifted. So as we talk about the Jazz, also for the future, it might be wise for them to also not make it into the playoffs next season, and maybe they can get a top 8 pick. Thus, it will be protected, and they won't have to worry about losing their pick. There's just a lot of question marks for this team, right? Like, I think there's a lot of things that need to be answered in terms of what direction are they going, which I don't think we're really going to know until the draft comes around. Obviously, if they get the number 1 pick, they're probably taking Cooper Flagg. And by probably, I mean they're absolutely taking Cooper Flagg. But there's plenty of other good players that they can get in the top 5. Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Kasparas Yakuchonis, Kaman Maluak. There's a ton of good players, especially in the top section of the lottery. In my opinion, I think this is going to be a very good draft class. Obviously, Lauri Markkanen did not play a ton of games this season. 47 games, averaged 19 points per game. John Collins played 40 games, not a lot, 19 points per game for him as well. Colin Sexton, 63 games. Keontae George, 16.8 points per game. He had a pretty solid season. I was impressed with what I saw from him. He's looking like a very good player. And if he can improve again next season, that's gonna be a great piece for the Jazz to have moving forward. Jordan Clarkson only played 37 games. Walker Kessler, I was super impressed with. 11 points per game, 12.2 rebounds per game, and led the league in blocks, 2.4 blocks per game. So 58 games played. Bryce Sensabaugh, 10.9 points per game, 71 games played. Kyle Filipowski, who slipped to the second round, and the Jazz were able to pick him up. He played 72 games, averaging 9.6 points per game and 21.1 minutes per game. Also averaged 6.1 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and 0.3 blocks. But he did have a game towards the end of the season, I think it was against Portland, where he recorded 30 points and 18 rebounds. So he's got a lot of potential, and I don't know why he slipped. I think a lot of people were saying they slipped in the draft because of this whole situation with his girlfriend and how he was like siloed off from his family, and there was a ton of weird stuff going on. I really don't know the whole story. These are things that I heard from the internet, which the internet can only be trusted so much. But that's a big reason apparently why he slipped. He was very not, I guess, honest about what was going on in his personal life. Not that it matters a ton when it comes to playing basketball. And obviously the Jazz lucked out. They got this dude in the second round, and he's clearly could have been a first round pick. So that's good for them. Taylor Hendricks, who was I think he was like the 9th overall pick either last year or the year before. I think it was the 2023 NBA draft. I think he was the 9th overall pick. Only played 3 games this season. Got injured really early on. That was a disappointing thing for them. But yeah, man, this team, they have pieces. Isaiah Collier, also a great piece. Had a good rookie season. Played 71 games, 8.7 points, 6.3 assists. So, the future is bright in Utah, right? The future is certainly bright. I think, Danny Ainge really knows what he's doing from, in terms of like running that team and understanding what pieces they need and what pieces work well together. Danny Ainge is just a great basketball mind, so I think the Utah Jazz are in great hands with him, kind of running things over there. And there's not much else to say. I mean, Utah's got the best chance to get the first overall pick. Their payroll's looking good. They're really not paying that much money. And basically every single person that's under contract this year is going to be under contract next year. John Collins has a player option for next year, $26 million. So he might take that, he might not. We'll see what happens. He's 27 years old, so he could probably get a better contract at this point. So he might not wind up staying, who knows. But Colin Sexton under contract, Lauri Markkanen's under contract until the summer of 2029. He just signed a big extension. And then pretty much everyone else is there, man. I mean, some of these contracts are not guaranteed, but they're not like they're just free agents outright. Like Johnny Juzang, next year's not guaranteed. Svi Mihailuk, next year's not guaranteed. KJ Martin, next year's not guaranteed. And then pretty much the rest of the guys are either guaranteed or they have team options. Like Keontae George, Walker Kessler, Bryce Sensabaugh, Taylor Hendricks has a team option for next year. So there's not really a ton of question marks for me for this team besides the draft, right? So depending on what happens in the draft, that's really going to be the deciding factor for like, where does this team go? What is their potential? What's their ceiling? And I think Minnesota is sending their pick to Utah. So Utah is going to have a top 5 pick as well as a pick probably in the 20 or so range later in the first round. I believe they also have a couple of second round picks too, which will be good for them. They're going to have, I think, Dallas's second round pick and the Clippers' second round pick as well. So they'll probably have another couple of picks in the 40s and then one in the 50s as well. One pick in the 40s and then another pick in the 50s. Right now, Tankathon's projecting that as the 52nd overall pick and the 43rd overall pick. So this team's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of things that could happen. I'm excited to see, just how they play in Summer League, because it's going to be interesting to see all of the top 5 picks perform in Summer League, especially if Cooper Flagg's on this team. And let's not forget about AJ Dimbatsa, who is going to BYU for next season. And if the Jazz are bad again, they might be able to pick him up, right? You never know. And I'm pretty sure that dude's like spent a lot of time in Utah. I think he's from Utah. That's why he's going to BYU. So that could be a cool story. So Jazz fans, my advice here is be patient. Like I said, Danny Ainge, he's got you in good hands. I think Danny Ainge really knows what he's doing. He knows how to build a team. He's had championship experience. He knows. He's a great basketball mind. So, gotta be patient. Things are gonna work out. And who knows, maybe you guys will trade Lauri Markkanen and get back a boatload of draft picks, because everyone and their mother wants Lauri Markkanen on their team, right? The only reason he didn't get traded this season was because he signed that extension, and I think he became trade eligible a day after the trade deadline. So now all bets are off. Lauri Markkanen could be on the move. So he could be on the move. He could also stay. Like I said, there's only one dude on this team that's over 30, and that's Jordan Clarkson. So this is a young team. They've got a bright future ahead. I'm looking forward to see what they do in the coming seasons. And if you're a Jazz fan, leave some comments down below. I want to know your thoughts. And let's link, let's build, let's talk, let's do all that. But that's all I got, guys. I'm going to catch you later. Stay safe, stay up, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.